Hey guys, Char5 here, and today's been a very big day when it comes to E3. Today was the first day of the Nintendo event, I believe. But that's not what we're here to talk about. Today we're going to talk about a little Bandicoot, by the name of Creesh. Now, a lot of you, and I guess most of you may not know, but I am probably a pretty big Creesh fan. Like, I say probably because, like, I've only ever played some of the games, and, like, I've never played any of them to completion, or, like, 100% of them. But I love the Creesh games, and they were games that I grew up with as a kid, and unfortunately, I lost all the games, except for a Game Boy game that I love the absolute shit out of. And that was, I think, the only game I ever actually did 100%. And I think it was actually a port of another game. But the Sane Trilogy is coming out in a few weeks, and I figured that now that I'm doing all these reactions and stuff, it would be a good time to talk about it. This is more of a discussion video than anything else. It's not really a reaction to any of the trailers or anything. Although, from what I understand, the Coco Bandicoot trailer just came out, and she'll be playable, I think. Let me watch that really quick. I think she'll be playable in all 3 games. So there she is. There's Coco. Whoa, my. Ugh, she looks ugly. I don't like her design. Then again, I haven't liked her design for a while. But, you know. Okay, that's weird. But they're bringing her back on, like, all of her classic stages from Creesh 3. I wonder how they're going to appropriate her for Creesh 1 and 2, though. Oh, yeah, the dragon level from Creesh 3. That's from Creesh 2, I believe. Yeah, I think this is from Creesh 2. I think, at least. Oh, but it's cool that they're going to be working together and stuff. I like that. And that it's not just going to be in Creesh 3, but that it's also going to be in, like, Creesh 1 and 2. I love that they're remaking all the original games from the PlayStation era. Crash Bandicoot, I think, is probably my earliest... It's one of my earliest memories of video games, because it came out the same year I was born. So, I remember it was like the one thing on... Aside from Spyro 3, it was the one thing I was playing on PlayStation. If I wasn't playing Spyro 3, I was playing Creesh 2. And I love that game to death. So the fact that they're remaking the game, to me, is amazing, you know? Like, they're remaking it, of course, with the newer voice actors, because I don't remember who owns Crash Bandicoot right now. Oh, I wish I could remember who owns Creesh right now. But it's not Naughty Dog anymore. I think it's Activision. I think Activision owns Creesh. So the fact that they had the balls to, like, recreate the old games, and the fact that it looks so good, it looks like it plays just like the old games. My only critique, I guess, with the Insane Trilogy is that, like, because it looks so new, because, like, the graphics and the engine are new, they're not the same. Obviously, they're not the same ones from, like, 20 years ago. Some parts of the game, like some animations that they tried to recreate, look very different as a result, and they look strange. Not bad, just, like, weird, you know? But I love the fact that they're bringing it back. Like, I'm usually one to critique, you know, abusing nostalgia, because I think it's a cheap tactic just to sell copies of games. And if you've seen other reaction videos I've made, mainly stuff like Sonic Forces and Sonic Mania, I've criticized those games because I feel like they rely on nostalgia too much, and I sustain that, you know, like, I remain by what I say. I do think that they're relying too heavily on nostalgia, bringing back Green Hill Zone, bringing back Chemical Plant Zone, Flying Battery Zone, the Sonic Generations formula they're bringing back in Forces. So why is it that this time I love it so much. I think the reason is because we haven't seen, I guess, a true Crash game for some time now, because there were things like Mind Over Mutant and other games that I've never even touched. Not because I haven't wanted to, just because, you know, they never really interested me that much. And again, not because like I wanted to stay away from them, like, oh, I heard that they were really bad, so I don't want to touch these games ever. No, I want to play the games eventually. It's just, from what I understand, they're very deviating from the Crash Bandicoot formula, and the last game that was even remotely close, I think, was Wrath of Cortex, which I also played, and actually, I never beat, but I did enjoy. Like, I couldn't, it was back in the time where I couldn't really tell the difference between, like, Crash 2, Crash 3, Wrath of Cortex. Like, they were, as far as I knew, they were all made by Naughty Dog. And Wrath of Cortex was just a little bit, like, not up to par, but to me, all, you know, 4 games were the same. I never really got to play Crash 1 as a kid. And, you know, I fell out of touch with those games. I don't own those games anymore, unfortunately. And so like, for the Insane Trilogy to be coming out, I think is a great thing to reacquaint people who've probably never played a Crash Bandicoot game in their life, so that they know what Crash Bandicoot is, and that, like, how it plays and what Crash actually is. I don't know what new elements they're bringing to the table. As far as I know, it's like a complete remake from start to finish, and they're being really faithful with it, which I think is really cool. Because if you check like the cutscenes and stuff, like the almost non-existent cutscenes there were in those PlayStation 1 games, they're recreating those too with like new visuals, the current voice actors, which, I mean, it's not Clancy Brown as Neo Cortex, but it still works. You know, it's still the new voice actor, and it still works, and it's really good, and I'm really looking forward to playing it. My voice is a little shot right now since I've been screaming a lot in my reactions, but I'm really excited for the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. I can't wait to play through all 3 games. Revisit Crash 2, I think, to me is gonna be my top thing when it comes to it, because it's a game that I hold so close to my heart, and I never 100%ed it, and I'm a completionist. Like, I like completing games 100% when applicable, you know? Like, if it's a collectathon like Crash is, if it's a platformer collectathon, I'm gonna be on that. I'm gonna be on that, and I won't rest until that game is beaten 100%. So, like, the fact that they're bringing those back, they're remaking them, oh my god, I'm so excited. And I can only hope that they give Spyro the Dragon the same treatment with the first 3 games, because he deserves it too, and he deserves a comeback, because I've never played the Legend of Spyro games. From what I understand, they're not bad, but they're extremely different from the original Spyro games. Like, it's more of an RPG, I think, kind of. Like, it's like a real-time RPG or something like that. When that's not what Spyro was. Spyro was very similar to the likes of Banjo and Kazooie. You know, and the fact that it was a collectathon, and I liked the way it was, you know, as a collectathon, so I hope that they give Spyro the same treatment. And the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy comes out June 30th. That is, at the time of this recording, like 2 weeks away. Can't wait to get it. Can't wait to play it. And until next time, this is Char5, signing off.